If you're a business owner in India, here are 3 ways in which you can send your employees to Canada. First, you may send them through what's called an ICT, an Intra-Company Transfer, transferring them from your Indian company to your Canadian company. Secondly, you can do an ICT startup where you create a Canadian branch to transfer them to. Thirdly, you can send them through a labor market impact assessment supported work permit. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer, and we help businesses bring foreign employees to Canada without all of the legal hassle. If you are an Indian registered company and you are wanting to send employees to Canada, then you have options. In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 options that are available to you. Firstly, you may be able to send employees under the intra-company transferee option. Now, ICT is an option available to multinationals that have an operation in Canada and also have a related operation in their home country, in this case, in India. So when we say a related operation, it means that there must be a legal relationship. So the entity in Canada can be the child of the Indian entity. It can be an affiliate. It can be a branch. It can be a subsidiary of the Indian entity. But there must be a legal relationship between the two. And once there is, then the employees who are being sent from India to Canada must have been employed to the Indian entity for at least 1 year in a full-time role, among other requirements. But provided all of the requirements are met, the ICT, the intra-company transferee option, is going to be a viable option. And in fact, it's one of the most utilized options by multinationals with operations in India and Canada. So ICT is going to be a viable option provided that the relationship meets the immigration requirements and the employee's employment duration meets the requirements as well. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 for an Indian company looking to send employees to Canada is where you have a business that does not yet have an operation in Canada. So you have an Indian business, you may have won a contract in Canada, with a Canadian client, and you now need to transfer your employees to Canada, but you don't yet have an operation inside Canada, then you may have the option to do a startup, an ICT startup. And this is where you register a related company inside Canada, a company that's legally related to your Indian company, and then use that as a means to transfer employees. Of course, the startup route also has its own requirements, one of them being that you need to prove that this new business is going to be able to support itself, pay the new employees, ultimately that it will be able to hire Canadians and provide jobs for Canadians and so on and so forth. But provided you're able to show that your startup will be able to meet those requirements, that is definitely going to be option number 2 for an Indian company wanting to send their employees to Canada. Option number 3 is the labor market impact assessment route, the LMIA. LMIAs are for entities that have establishment inside Canada. So if you are an Indian business that already has a Canadian operation, but for some reason the ICT is not an option, then you may want to look at the LMIA, the Labor Market Impact Assessment. This route would require your Canadian branch to convince the immigration authorities that it is unable to find suitably qualified Canadians to do the job that you want done inside Canada. And therefore, the Canadian branch has had to look outside of Canada and look to its Indian entity in order to get the employees that it requires. So that is going to be the LMIA option. And once that LMIA application is approved, then the Canadian branch the Canadian operation may be able to use that LMIA to support work permit applications from your Indian entity. So those are going to be the options, or at least 3 of the options available to an Indian business, an Indian tech business, or some other Indian business that is looking to transfer employees to Canada. I trust you found value from this video. As always, remember to like our videos so others may see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel and check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks. See you again.